Hi everyone, I'm James. Welcome back to Black Tie English. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use nouns in English which are always in the plural. So you may already know how the plural rules work in English. If you have one book, you add an S and you get two books. If you have one dish and you add ES, then you get two dishes. And if you have a penny and you add IES but take off the Y, then you get two pennies. But the plural rules don't apply to these words. These words are always in the plural. If you take off the S from goggles, goggle isn't a word. If you take off the S from knickers, knicker isn't a word. So what I'm going to show you today is how to use these nouns, and later in the video I'm going to show you an important phrase which is a pair of or pairs of, and that is very helpful in using these words. So stay tuned for that part of the video. If you haven't subscribed to Black Tie English here on YouTube, then press that red button below and make sure you turn on notifications so you get updates when I release my newest videos. Also, I have my Instagram and my Facebook, so Black Tie English on Instagram and Facebook, where I post other English content. So make sure you subscribe to those two social media as well. The links are below in the description. So for now, keep watching and let's learn about nouns in English, which are always in the plural. So there are three groups of nouns in English which are always plural. And the first of those group I like to call legs, the legs group, because all of the nouns are things that you wear on your legs. And the reason they're always in the plural is probably because they come in two parts. So trousers have two legs, jeans have two legs, and so on. So all of these things have two parts. So let's look at the first one, is trousers. Trousers is always in the plural. I bought some trousers. You can't say I bought a trouser. There's no such thing as a trouser. Remember that trousers is also a British word. So in American English, you will hear people say pants. Pants in English, in British English, has a different meaning, which I'll look at in a second. So we can't say a trouser, no a trouser, always some trousers. Then we've got jeans. My jeans are black and these are jeans. These are my black jeans. So they're also trousers, but they are a kind of trousers made from denim. And you have to say my jeans are black. You can't say my jean is black. There's no such thing as a jean. It's always jeans with an S on the end. Next we've got shorts. So shorts are, well, maybe you know, they are like this. So these are shorts. They are shorter than trousers. They only go down to your knee. I wear shorts in summer. You have to keep the S on the end of shorts. So I wear a short in summer is grammatically incorrect. That's wrong. There's no such thing as a short. Now we've got pants. So pants in American is trousers, the things you wear on the outside. But pants in British English, for both men and women, is a kind of underwear. So the clothes you wear under your outside clothes. So we say my pants are from Gap. Gap is a shop. You can't say my pant is from Gap. There's no such thing as a pant. It's always in the plural. Boxers is a kind of pants, but for men. So these, I'm showing you perhaps too much information, but these are boxers. These are a kind of men's underwear, and they're like shorter shorts. So boxers are for men. These boxers are blue. Now, you can't say this boxer is blue because when it means pants or underwear, it's always plural. But This is my drawing of a boxing glove. Technically, there is a word in English, boxer, but that's someone who boxes. They do boxing as a sport. But in this context, when we're talking about these things, this is a pair of boxers. These are boxers, not a boxer. Then we've got knickers. So knickers are a kind of women's underwear. Those knickers are white. There's no such thing as this knicker is white. So knickers, always an S, always plural. Same thing goes for tights. So tights in American English are called pantyhose, and they're a kind of elastic underwear that girls, women wear under their clothes. So tights are sometimes black. I should say that sometimes men wear tights, but mostly women wear tights. Some men wear tights on stage in plays, and Shakespeare wore tights. So a long time ago, men wore tights as well, and some men today still wear tights. But you can't say a tight. So a tight is sometimes black. No, has to be plural. Tights are sometimes black. And finally, we've got pajamas. So this isn't technically a legs group noun, but I put it in here because it sort of fits in the legs group. We say, I wear pajamas in bed. You don't say, I wear a pajama in bed. So it's always plural, pajamas. The one thing to check is that pajama bottoms, so this thing here, these are pajama bottoms. They're the bottom part, they're the trousers of pajamas. So pajamas are top and bottom, the shirt and the trousers. But if you're just talking about the trousers part, they're called pajama bottoms, and that's also plural. So my pajama bottoms are blue. There's no such thing as a pajama bottom. The bottom is this thing down here, your bum. That's a different word completely. The one thing that I want to also mention is that a pajama top, so the shirt you wear on top, that is singular. So I have a pajama top. I sleep at night wearing a pajama top. You don't have to say tops, because that would mean more than one. So that is the legs group of nouns in English, which are always in the plural. Next, we're going to look at the group of nouns in English, which are called, the way I like to call them, the ears, eyes and tools group of plural nouns. So this is the second group of nouns in English, which are always in the plural. Group 2, eyes, ears and tools. So you'll see that glasses, sunglasses, goggles and binoculars are all things to do with your eyes. And then headphones are to do with your ears. And then the last 3, scissors, pliers and tongs, are tools or instruments. And so the reason why these words are all in the plural, again, is because they're in 2 parts. So they're a single item which is made of 2 parts, and that's why they're in the plural. So the first one is glasses. Glasses help you see, so glasses you wear on your face to help with your vision. They're always in the plural. You can't say a glass helps you see, because a glass is a thing you drink out of. It's not something you wear on your face. So always plural, glasses. The same with sunglasses. So these are some sunglasses, help you see in the sun. And they're made of 2 parts, 2 lenses. So sunglasses are for the summer, a sunglass. There's no such thing as a sunglass. These are sunglasses. So always in the plural. A sunglass is for the summer? No. Goggles. Goggles protect my eyes. These are ski goggles. So I'll put them on just to show you what they look like. These are ski goggles that I have worn skiing. They're a bit big. I should have tightened them up. But goggles, essentially there's 2 parts. There's 2 eyes to the goggles. Always plural. A goggle protects my eyes. That's wrong. Next we've got binoculars. So binoculars are what you use to see in the distance. Often people will do that to imitate binoculars. That's my very basic drawing of binoculars. So binoculars are for seeing far away. Always in the plural, a binocular doesn't exist. And the same goes for headphones. So that's my nice simple drawing of some headphones. I listen to music on my headphones, always in the plural. There's two parts to the headphones, so that's why it's plural. And the wrong example, I listen to music on my headphone. No, so it's always headphones. Same as with scissors. So these are some scissors and we use them for cutting hair, cutting paper. These scissors are sharp. This scissor is sharp. So scissors are made of two separate pieces held together by a pin, and that's why they're in the plural. It's one item, but it's made of two separate things. The same is with pliers. So pliers are a tool often used for bending wire or for taking a nail out of wood or the wall. And the same thing. So the pliers here, the pliers are red. There's no such thing as the plier. So two parts joined together make one item in the plural. And then finally we've got tongs. So tongs are these things, and often they're used by chefs. So chefs use tongs. Chefs use a tong. We can't say a tong. You have to have them in the plural because, like the previous items, they're made of two pieces here joined with a pin, and that's why it's a single item but a plural word in English. So those are 8 plural nouns in group 2. Should we call them the eyes, ears and tools group? Let's now look at the third group, which is really all the words that don't fit into group 1 and 2. So these are the nouns which are always plural, and I call them group 3, the other ones. So the nouns that don't fit into group 1 or group 2. There's not really any better name for them, they're just the rest of the plural nouns. So the first one is people. Some people are tall. People is always a plural noun. Person is the singular of people. So these are my tall people. This, take away the other tall person. Here's the shorter person. This is one person, two people. Then we've got clothes. So clothes are these things. So this is a pile of clothes, jeans, underwear, pajamas. I have a piece of clothing. So when you're talking about the individual item, this is a piece of clothing. Be careful with this word because the singular of clothes is not cloth or clothe. Clothe without an S is a verb, to clothe someone, to provide someone with clothing. But this is a cloth, something you use to wash the dishes or to wipe up some mess. So a cloth is different. A cloth is one cloth, two cloths, but clothes are these things. Belongings are the things that belong to you, the things that you possess. So look after your belongings. There's no such thing as a belonging. The singular is really property, or we might say the thing that belongs to you, something that you own. So there's no singular of belongings in the belonging form. Next is the stairs. So the stairs, the thing you walk up to get to the second or third or fourth floor of a building. There's no such thing as a stair. The singular is either the staircase, a staircase, or you could say a step. But really, I would just say take the stairs or take the staircase. Odds. So odds are chances, probabilities, the chance that something will happen. If you ever go to a race course or you gamble, then people will say, oh, what are the odds? What's the chances that this horse or this team will win? So what are the odds? There's no such thing as one odd or an odd. It's always odds when it's a noun. Odd can mean strange, but that's a different context. So if you wanted to do the singular of odds, we actually say, what's the probability? What's the chance? What's the likelihood of something happening? Next, we've got valuables. So lock up your valuables is probably a sentence you've seen written in a hotel or somewhere where you need to keep things safe. And these could be valuables, things that are expensive or things that you value. Sunglasses, a wallet, your keys. And there isn't really a singular of the word valuables. You have to say something like a valuable thing, a valuable item. There's no specific singular word from valuables. Now let's look at this side. We've got manners. So his manners are bad. Manners is another word for behavior or etiquette, the way that you behave. If you eat with your mouth open, at least in British culture, you might have or might be described as having bad manners. And you could say his behavior is bad, or he behaves badly, or he has bad etiquette. But really, manners is always in the plural. There's no such thing as a manner to talk about behavior. Now, a manner can be something like a way of doing something. The manner in which he spoke was very interesting. That's a different word. That means the way in which he spoke. But here, manners in the plural means behavior. The remains. So remains is another word for the remainder or what's left. The remains of a castle. So let's say a castle has fallen down. All you can see is some of the old walls. Those are the remains. And the singular would be the remainder, or in fact just what's left of the castle. There's no such thing as remain. Then you can't say a remain, the remain. Last two, leftovers. These are the leftovers. So leftovers might be what you haven't eaten from lunch. It could be something that's remaining in the cupboards, things that aren't finished, usually food. So these are the leftovers, but again, no singular leftover. That doesn't exist as a noun. So we say the remainder or what's left. The residue is also another word for leftovers. And finally, proceeds. So there's a verb, proceed, but this is the noun in the plural, proceeds. And proceeds are another word for money. All the proceeds go to charity. Now, it's another word for money in the context of money you receive, maybe as a business, or if you're running a donation scheme for charity. So all the proceeds, all the money goes to charity. So that was group 3, about 10 or so different nouns in English, which are always in the plural, and then their singular equivalents. So the final part of this video is looking at an expression which I mentioned at the beginning of the video, which is a pair of. And this is an expression you use with groups 1 and 2, so the legs, plural nouns, and the ears, eyes, and tools, plural nouns. And the reason you need to use this expression is because if you want to specify how many you have of some glasses or how many pairs of trousers you have to use an expression pair of, a pair of, or pairs of. If you talk about some glasses or some tights or some pajamas, that means you're talking about the singular. It's just one pair of glasses, one pair of tights, one pair of pajamas. If you want to be a bit more precise, then you can talk about one pair of pajamas, but generally some is the word we use usually with these nouns. But if you want to specify the plural and how many you have, say you have 3, well, you can't say I have 3 glasses, because that would mean you had 3 drinking glasses that you drink out of. What you have to do is say I have 3 pairs of glasses, and that means you have 3 individual separate glasses that you put on your face. So 1, 2, 3. And the same goes for any other of these nouns in groups 1 and 2. I have a few pairs of pajamas. Now group 3 doesn't work in this way because group 3 isn't made of things that are in pairs or that come in 2 parts. Glasses have 2 lenses, but something like remains or any of the other nouns in group 3, they don't come in 2 parts. So a pair is 2, and that's why it works with groups 1 and 2. Well, that's it for today. I hope you learned something new. If you want to do some extra English learning practice, then I've put some questions in the description below. So answer those questions in the comments, and then I will correct any of your answers that need correcting. If you haven't joined us on Instagram or on Facebook, the Black Tie community is there as well, so join by clicking the links in the description below. Of course, if you haven't joined us here on YouTube, then make sure you click subscribe, hit that red button, and turn on notifications so you know when my next and new videos come out. So I look forward to seeing you for our next lesson. See you later.